Hello, potassium people. Welcome back to another Banana Bites. We're eating this banana and asking Valve to please add the strange second banana to Team Fortress 2. Now, before I consume that banana, I just want to talk a little bit about conservation, conserving, specifically about stuff in video games, and maybe even a little about life and skills itself. See, growing up, I used to play quite a few different RPGs. And in these RPGs, there'd be items, there'd be equipment, etc. I remember I used to always think that I needed to save these items because I'll never know when I need to use them. So I'd stockpile the best items. Anything that basically brought team members back with full health or anything that was a full restore, anything like that, or stuff that would just like wipe out enemies in a single move, etc., I would save. And then playing this way, I had to grind a little more. I had to think in different ways to get, battles done. And then when I go to the final boss, they're a joke. They're a pushover. And then I didn't use the items at all. I'm sure a lot of people have had this experience. But it goes even further than that. See, in other types of video games, RPGs, etc., for instance, the Borderlands series, the first game in the series, I played through the entire main campaign and most of the DLCs, and I only spent one skill point. I maxed out my level before I spent a majority of my skill points. Because I thought to myself, well, I could get through all of this without issue. I could do all of it. So I stockpiled it. And the reason being is that at some point I realized it was sort of a challenge and sort of a way to show to myself how far I could go without using everything at my disposal. But what happens is the more you conserve, the more you say, I can do this, I can do all of this, I have the skills, I have the ability, and then you don't use it, means that when it comes time to use it, you may be better than you were showing. But it's going to be really just, you're going to basically be a lesser version of yourself. You're not going to be super experienced with all these skills you're going to unlock. Or maybe it's just choosing a character you're worse at Smash Brothers, right? And you're just not going to be as good with the main character you've always been good with because you're spending time elsewhere. And that's an interesting little contrast, I suppose. You're technically getting better at something when you restrict yourself, but you're not utilizing your full ability when you neglect your skills. Now, TF2 is a little different. TF2 is kind of funny in that there isn't really anything like that. Like, sure, you could use worse or better items. And I guess in a way, yeah, there are situations where someone might use something like the Righteous Bison just to gimp themselves. And that's all well and good. But when it comes to like the stock weapons or using or playing the game as normal, it's like, what do you conserve? Ammo? Your soldier, your rocket jumping around, you're blowing people up, and you just make sure you have one rocket in your clip. Because if you have that one rocket, you can get out of a bad situation. Scout, making sure you always have your pistol reloaded. Just finish a fight, shot a few bullets, make sure it's reloaded. You're out and away. Heavy. Gosh, I love heavy. They got this thing called the sandwich. It takes so long to recharge. Is it worth it? I don't think so. I like to put people out when they're on fire, when they're bleeding. I like to eat a banana. And all of this is just to say, And sometimes we restrict ourselves, or we think, oh, I could do better. I could do better than this thing. But I'm not going to yet. I'm going to refrain from using my best skills for whatever situation because it's not the right time. And maybe the right time was yesterday or the day before that. And we need to be okay with exposing ourselves to our own abilities and making sure we're still up to snuff, as they say, or whatever they say. Up to snuff. I feel like I heard that from some 90s movie or something. Anyways, I'm gonna eat the banana now. Because bananas are good. And I dare not stop myself from consuming a banana daily. Unless I hate myself, then I would stop myself. But why would I do that? Mmm. This one's really good. Yesterday's was really mushy, and I don't think the lip balm helped with that experience. It was still a good banana, but this is just like a solid banana. Also a little mushy, but I think that's just the bunch I bought. Well, potassium people, that's it. I'll talk to you all tomorrow. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.